Hi everyone and welcome back. This is your Vegas agent and today we're going to be doing some real estate terms. So if you're taking the test for your real estate exam, you should know that the majority of the test is vocabulary. If you don't know your vocabulary words, then you're not going to be able to pass the test. So let's get started. So this is going to be a bit of a long video, but it's very necessary because we're just going to knock out all of the letter A vocabulary terms for real estate. So let's start with abstract of title. It's a certified, detailed history of a piece of real estate and a summary of any encumbrances or blemishes recorded on title. Next vocabulary word, accelerated cost recovery system, acronym ACRS. It's a method of claiming tax deduction for specific properties purchased before 1987, when greater deductions were allowable, then gradually reducing the deduction with each year. Acceleration clause. It's a contract that can require full debt due upon default. Accession. Acquiring title to improvements or additions to real estate. An example would be by way of attachment or accretion. And then what is accretion? Well, accretion is the expansion of or addition to land naturally occurring. An example would be like deposits of soil or sand washed up from a body of water. Next, accrued depreciation. It's basically a loss of property value. An example would be like due to physical or external depreciation or deterioration or functional obsolescence. Next, accrued items. They're items of expenses incurred yet not paid for. An example would be like taxes or interest on a home loan. Acknowledgement. It's basically a formal declaration made via signature before a notary. Acre. It's a measurement of land equaling 40,560 square feet, equal to 160 square rods or 0.4047 hectares. So again, an acre is 43,560 square feet. Must remember that one because when you're doing math on your test, you'll have to start with the exact acre in square feet in order to get the problem right. So don't forget, 43,560 square feet is an acre. Action to quiet title. This is establishing ownership when not traceable in chain of title, maybe due to a broken chain in title. An actual eviction. It's just a legal process in which tenants are physically removed from the rented or leased premises. Actual notice. It's a fact that which is known, true knowledge. Pretty simple. Ad valorem tax, also known as general tax. Well, if you know Latin, the Latin term ad valorem means according to value. So it's the tax according to value. Addendum. It's a signed provision added to an existing contract without altering the original contract. Pretty simple. Adjustable rate mortgage, acronym ARM. It's a fluctuating interest rate on a home loan issued by a lender. Adjusted basis. It is basically like if you acquired a property via purchase, the cost of the property plus the value of any expenditures or home improvements minus the depreciation allowable is now your new adjusted basis. Administrative law judge, also known as ALJ. It's an official who presides over hearings between a government agency and opposing party affected by the legal decision. Administrator, also known as administratrix, if you're referring to a woman. An administrator is one appointed by the court to assist in the settlement of an estate that's intestate. Adverse possession. You may know this as squatter's rights. It's basically possession of another's land acquired through title via continuous use for a long period of time without permission. Affidavit of title. It's a written statement under oath signed before a notary upon sale of a real estate from a grantor, and it's a legal right to sell and the conditions of the title as stated. Affiliated business arrangement, also known as ABA. An example would be a broker offering services to a seller, and the company offering services to a consumer. That's basically an example of an affiliated business arrangement. Agency. It's a relationship described between the principal and the authorized agent representing the transaction. Agency by ratification. It's basically when an agent represented relationship was created after the fact. And of course, you can't have agency without an agent. An agent is one who has the power to act for another in a fiduciary relationship created under law of agency. Now, air lots. You may know this also as a condo or a cube of air. It's a cube of space, designated airspace, I guess, over a parcel of land transferred via title. And with that, next is air rights. It's the right to use the open space above a property. And then usually the surface is used for a different use. Next is alienation. It's the act of transferring a title from one to another. When it's voluntary, it's a sale or a gift. And then when it's involuntary, like an eminent domain, it's via adverse possession. Next is alienation clause. It's the statement in a mortgage or deed that if the sale of the property without lender approval takes place, then that makes the debt immediately due and payable to the lender upon sale. Allodial system. We use the system in the United States. It's the opposite of a feudal system. It is where the ownership of a land is held free and clear of any rent or services owed to the government. The opposite would be feudal. An example would be like North Korea. They're in a feudal system, but here in the United States, we're in allodial. Amendment. It's a document initialed by all parties once changes to an existing contract are made in writing. The American Land Title Association policy, also known as ALTA, it's a policy that protects real property owners and mortgage lenders against losses from defects in title. Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as ADA. It's the law that protects the rights of those with disabilities in public and housing accommodations and employment. Amortized loan. It's an interest front-loaded loan, meaning you pay all the interest off first as you're making payments to the principal. Annexation. It's the process of converting personal to real property. Annual percentage rate, also known as APR. It's the total finance charges associated with a loan in accordance with TILA. Anticipation. It's a forecasted appraisal value using the income approach, estimating the current worth. Antitrust laws. They're laws designated to prevent price fixing in an area by protecting free enterprise of the open market. Appointed agency or assigned agency, also known as designated agency. It's basically an in-house cell involving two different agents, one representing the buyer, one representing the seller. In-house means it's all derived from the same brokerage firm and just two separate agents handling the business. Appraisal. It's the process in which an estimate of the value of a property is made upon inspection. Appraisal report. It's a professional opinion of a property's market value in writing given to the client or lender by the appraiser. Appraiser. It's the independent person trained to provide an unbiased estimate of value. Appraiser Independence Requirements, acronym AIR. These are the rules and regulations in which an appraiser must follow to ensure objective and accurate appraisals set forth by Fannie Mae. Appreciation. This is an increase in a property's value in relation to the current economy and market. Appurtenance. It runs with the land as a privilege, right, or improvement that is passed on with the property sale through title. Area. It's a level piece of ground, the size of a surface, the amount of a two-dimensional object. Area preference. It's a person's desire for one location over another based on factors like convenience, regulations, reputation, surroundings, etc. Asbestos. It's a harmful mineral formerly used in insulation and other building materials, now determined to cause respiratory diseases. This is a term you'll need to know because when you're showing a home, you will be obligated as the agent. If you're informed and aware that there is asbestos in the home, you do have to inform the potential buyer. Assemblage. It's two or more adjoining lots combined into one larger tract to increase their total size and value. Assessed value. This is the value determined on a property for taxation purposes. Assessment equalization factor. It's a number by which the assessed value of a property is multiplied to arrive to the statewide tax assessment value. Assigned agency. This one's also known as designated agency and or appointed agency. It's the same as before. It's an in-house sale, meaning one brokerage and two agents, one for the buyer, one for the seller. Assignment. It's the transfer in writing of interest in a mortgage, lease, or bond. Associate licensee. It's a licensed real estate agent salesperson who works for a broker to perform brokerage duties on behalf of or with the broker. Assumption of mortgage. It's acquiring title to property and assuming all liability, terms and conditions of the existing mortgage, including payments. Attachment. It's a seizure of one's property with the expectation of ruling in favor of the plaintiff, who claims to be owed remedy by defendant. Attorney's opinion of title. This is the examination of an abstract title by an attorney, resulting in a certified statement of the facts concerning the property ownership. Automatic extension clause. This is the rule in a listing agreement stating that after a listing expires, it automatically continues for a specified amount of time. This is typically a clause that's discouraged or prohibited in many states. Last but not least is avulsion. This is the sudden breaking away of land caused by nature, such as flooding, earthquake, volcanic action, or a change in stream pattern, essentially resulting in the loss of land. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining me. That was all the terms that begin with the letter A in regards to real estate testing. So I hope this was helpful. I tried to keep the terms as simple and as short as possible because the more wordy terminology gets, then the more confusing it becomes. So I hope you found these simple yet precise and to the point terms very helpful. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know that you like this content and what you would like to study more. All right, until next time, take care and happy studying. Once again, thanks for watching your Vegas Agent.